Right then, so I've come to a conclusion that I've played this through all by myself. I'm going to stick with Bradley. The decisions I've made have unfortunately come to this terrible conclusion of me having to sleep with a ginger. So unfortunately we're just going to have to do that. I know. You're sad as well. Don't worry. I was crying to myself before recording. Don't worry. How many weeks did he have to spend buried in newspapers and microfilm before he found the pattern that no one else had seen, with every muscle itching for action? That string of meaningless dates, girl after girl, every time hoping that this would be the one, and always disappointed. He had to doubt himself, surely, to wonder if his existence, those 5 years of searching, had been a waste. Well, I mean, like, isn't it a bit weird? You'd always get the same girl, like, all the girls saying, you know what, his car broke down again. You know what, the same thing happened to me last week, and me, and it just happened to everyone. Whatever. But he never faltered. He continued on his quest, turning a cheerful face to girl after girl, always treating them with chivalry. A modern knight hunting for dragons, or possibly just windmills. Oh god, he's not a modern knight by any stretch of the imagination. Knights don't threaten people with guns. I can't help but admire the stubborn dedication. And here we are, together in this new world, each of us the only remembrance the other has of home. The only proof we have our world and our past is real. We are partners in a great adventure. But at the same time, I can't forget that he's the one who got me into this. He didn't ask for my help, he tricked me into it. If I never get home again, it'll be his fault. Ah, so there is some bad things to it. That's at least a slight positive. If it had been some garden variety serial killer that had taken his sister and all those others, I could be dead now. Or if he decided for certain that we were all threats and had started firing that gun. If I need a hero, he'll be there to defend me. But if it's a choice between me and his goal, would he even hesitate? Well, just after all that deep thought, not even a conclusion. We're just straight into it. Alright. I find Linz and Bradley in the library, trading notes. We don't have moon bases. What power sources do you use? Mostly oil and gas, maybe coal, a little bit of nuclear wind power. Nuclear fusion or nuclear fission? Where does the fuel come from? I have no idea. Fission, but I don't know where they mine the uranium from. Well, Janet just showed she was more intelligent than Bradley. Ha! I joke, she just knows it's uranium. I thought most people knew that, in fact. I see him frown and draw a large black X on the paper where he's taking notes. And the oil? That comes from the Middle East, pretty much. Oh wow, you're right, only the Middle East have oil. It's not like they found massive reserves in Brazil and there's some in Scotland, etc. And Illinois, one of the biggest basins in the world. What did I know? There's also solar power. Photovoltaic cells? What do you make them out of? Well done, Hanako Games. Lovely use of Wikipedia. I don't know, they're black? He shakes his head, which makes my cheeks burn. It's not my fault I don't know how to build a solar cell. I'm not in freshman's chemistry. What about medical science? Do you, I mean your culture, know how to restore brain function? We're only 20 years ahead of you. Well, 25. We haven't discovered the world's problems yet, okay? Stop judging us. I don't think so. You hear about people coming out of comas, but it's not because of anything the doctors did. We just keep them alive and sometimes they wake up. There was something in the news about keeping people really cold to prevent brain damage from surgery, but I don't think it helps fix existing damage. Look, if you come in and like someone's brain's been cut in half, they're probably fucked. No matter if you turn that brain down to sub-zero, they're buggered. Not good enough. Surely I can do better and prove that I'm knowledgeable about science and medicine. Maybe stem cells? They might be able to grow new brains with them eventually. Look, we don't know how to do this yet. A 19-year-old girl who's in college isn't going to know. Cells from the brainstem? No, it's kind of a non-differentiated cell that can develop in all other kinds of cells. So they're working on being able to use them to grow replacement organs instead of having to wait for donors, hearts, lungs, maybe even brains. Interesting. Have you found a cure for transplant shock? You mean organ rejection? I think they use immune suppression drugs. This medical stuff is kind of gross. What about longevity drugs? We don't have any. None, not ones at work. Anyway, I was going to say, I've got millions of them. They come in cans with Strongbow on the side. There are a bunch of scams about starving yourself or extra vitamins, but they do nothing. Interesting. Our early trials suggested lifespan enhancement up to 30 years without the failings of extreme age, although it's soon to tell. You cured old age? Are you sure we're the ones from the future? You're not from my future. You're from a different future and a different past. You're behind in space travel, ahead in electronics, and each of us continuums has medical technology that the others don't. Knowledge, which you take for granted, could be a matter of life or death here, or vice versa. Our greatest discoveries will likely be accidental. Well, quite a few discoveries were accidental. I know Tarmac was. Anyway, I'll see. Look how fucking clever I am. Dear Lord. Now, let's talk about travelling your method for travelling between universes. Don't know anything about it. It just happened. Where were you before you came here? We went to Dressage Restaurant, and then we went to Galliera Cinema at the mall. But none of that exists here. So why does it matter? Because I'd like to determine exactly where the wormhole you came through is. Now, have you been to this mall before? Sure, plenty of times. Me too. Where did you go after leaving it? Don't tell me this is like a massive gaping wormhole which no one notices. I seem to remember there was an initiative in England where you could suddenly have like maps and you could report where crimes had happened. And in Brighton someone put, there's a massive wormhole in the middle of my street. It's becoming a massive nuisance. And then people added that, started saying, it's now glowing. Dinosaurs are coming from it. See, that's why you don't give people power. They'll piss around with it. Right, where did you go after leaving it? We drove around for a while. It was dark and raining. When did it start raining? Must have been during the movie. Thunder? Lightning? No. Did you notice anything out of the ordinary at any point during your drive? We would have noticed if there was just like a massive hole. Alright, whatever. How could we? It was dark. A change in the road or the weather? A momentary lull in the rain. Unfortunately, I'm not a gravitic specialist. It does say gravitic. I've never had to use that word. We didn't see anything. We saw the house. House? This house? Maybe. It was dark and I was looking out of the window, and then for a moment I thought I saw something in the woods, like distant lights. No. If we're playing the alien card, I'm leaving. Then the car broke down. Bradley pinches his lips together, saying nothing. About how far away was that? I don't know, less than a mile? Once we started walking, I saw the lights again and we followed them to the house. So Bradley knows when it was, and I'm revealing too much information, judging by the look on his face. Did you notice anything odd when we were walking here? Other than Bradley clinging to my hand for dear life? Oh, zing! You know why I reach out and squeeze his hand to reassure him that I'm only teasing. Yes, other than that, there weren't any signs of anything strange while we were walking to the house, and I was looking for them then. Spotting the house was what made the difference. There was never a house there before. If there's a wormhole, it has to have been back on the road, which means that your car should be present within this reality, and it may mark your entry position. Once matters are concluded, we should investigate. But if it's only a mile from here, you'd like to think they'd have noticed as well. Alright. Yeah. Okay, so we've gone into the next day. We're halfway through the game, I think. Dear Lord. We all look so weird. And more to the point, I'm trying to figure out which way Bradley's hands are around. I'm trying to see if he's piecing him or if he's swearing at him. Alright, whatever. With the tension in the house calmed down for now, and dinner eventfully behind us, we're all hanging around together. It's a little like a slumber party, even though I haven't been to one of those since I turned 13. I think a slumber party's a bit weird. I mean, I wouldn't trust falling asleep with Bradley and Albert. God, that'd be horrible. The name of the game is I Never. When it's your turn, you must state something that you have never done. Oh, God. This game, it brings back some memories, you know, drunken nights. Fucking bad times. Alright. Like, I've never ridden an elephant? The idea is to pick something that you haven't done and that you think the rest of us have, so probably no elephants. Usually this is a drinking game, but as some of you don't care for alcohol, that's what chocolate peanuts are for. We're using chocolate peanuts. Oh god. Imagine if there was someone like overweight in this room, someone who loved chocolate. Oh god, that would be horrible. I never kissed a guy. Duh! Fucking use 15 of them. God, right. Each of us has a small bowl containing 6 chocolate-covered peanuts. If you have done whatever the speaker never has, eat a peanut. And if you're not sure it counts, it counts. Whoever runs out first loses. Which will probably be you. Whoa, what's that judgmental look for? Perhaps, however, he holds a finger up in the air dramatically. Well, in that picture he doesn't. I have never cheated on a lover. Raphael coughs. I may have had more than one at the same time, but everyone involved was aware of the situation and the rules. That's not cheating. Oh god. Yeah, that seems to be something which is new. With, you know, our kids. How, I think, what's it called? Linking? It's like, we're dating, but like, we're not dating, but like, we're jealous when someone is with someone else, yeah? Making out as if only poor people do it. Oh, oh god. Alright, we've entered a minefield here. Let's just move on. Everyone was... What has Lynn's been up to? There's a moment of silence while everyone looks at each other. Finally, Albin shrugs and takes a peanut. Has him and Raphael been dating and he wasn't aware, maybe? Or he was jealous? Oh, God knows. What? What was that? I missed it. There's a moment of silence while everyone looks at each other. Finally, Albin shrugs and takes a peanut. Albin! There was this girl, we went out a couple of times, nothing serious, and then she got all crazy. She started telling people what I was going to do, like it was her decision, without even asking me. She picked fights and then came running for me to protect her. Well, I mean, it doesn't sound too, unlike some people now. Moving on. So I made it very clear that I was not her property, in public with her best friend. How should Janet respond to this information? Stay quiet, scold him. Stay quiet! Fuck it. If the girl was crazy, then... Alright, maybe she doesn't have herself to blame, maybe that's a little harsh, but, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. Aha! Finally done. Fuck for that. Right, I'm gonna stay quiet, because I felt it's the best time. It's not really my business what he did to some girl in the past. So I suppose it's my turn. Well, I've never snogged a man. I can happily say that I haven't done this. I wouldn't be drinking. What is snogged? Albin and Lynn stare at me. Nathaniel covers a smile with his hand. Come on, Jack. You're not 19 without knowing what that is. Come on. It's, you know, kissing with tongues. Oh. What a funny word. Well then, I've never done that either. With a grandiose wrist flourish, Linz takes a peanut from his bowl. No one looks terribly surprised, although Bradley rolls his eyes a bit. Not a supporter of the gay community then. You next. Very well, I've never driven a motor vehicle. Everyone else except Raphael reaches for a peanut. I don't have a car, but I took driver's ed, which means me as well. Why not? Some people find cars interesting in themselves, but I never did. Alright, I suppose he's rich, he gets people to drive around for him. That's the only conclusion I can come to. If I need to go somewhere, I can get someone to drive me, usually. Yeah, see, I called it. You've been quiet, Bradley. Your turn. I'm not sure what's safe to ask. Safe? Well, you're a girl. A good girl. That just means I've got more to be curious about. Oh, God. That's the only thing I can offer in response to that. Oh, God. Okay, I've never worn makeup. Well, that's me. Linz, Albin and Raphael reach for peanuts as well, but not Nathaniel. I've never worn makeup. Is it normal for guys to try that? Unless you're like emo? Ooh, flame war. Right. I suppose the rest of them have dressed up for Halloween. So, my turn. That or it's another future in which wearing makeup's normal. So, my turn. What should Janet say she's never done before? Broken a bone, kissed a girl. Oh, come on. It's got to be Kiss the Girl. That's going to be more interesting. Who doesn't love that kind of, you know, trashy nonsense, right? Oh, that was surprisingly easy. I thought that was going to take far longer. Kiss the Girl. I've never kissed a girl on the lips. Quickly I open my eyes and look around to see their reaction. Albin said he had a girlfriend before, but Linz has obviously been there and done that, but every single one of them reaches out to take a peanut. Bradley? Raphael? You have a girlfriend? It's not what you think. I was 8. You were a very young romantic? I hope it's that, not something worse. It was for a play. Phew. We were doing Sleeping Beauty, but none of the boys in my class were good at acting. So they made you play Prince Charming? No, that's the biggest part. And then the best person to play it was one of the girls. They made me play Sleeping Beauty. Okay, so Raphael is gay, right? And just in case we didn't know that, it's confirmed for us. Raphael is a pretty princess? I can just about see that. Yeah, to be fair, I can see that as well. So that leaves me. There is a long pause where his eyes flicker back and forth. I have never, we wait for it, worn pink socks. Fucking, that's very anticlimactic. Everyone stares at him. I'm like, I've never done that. What an odd thing to do. This is where you've got a chance to just find out really weird shit, and he's not doing it. I'm disappointed. What? I haven't. I'm not absolutely certain whether I have or not. I would never pick them out for myself, but my parents probably put me in something pink as a baby. I assume I'll be the only one, but as I take my peanuts, I notice that someone else is as well. Bradley? I'm not so good at doing laundry. Right, that's the end of the first round then. Linz and Albin are tied for last, with each having only 2 peanuts left. Albin and Linz exchange glances. I have never spray painted my initials on the outer wall of a government building. I've never spray painted my initials anywhere. Definitely not on a government building. Okay, we'll stop there. Albin takes a peanut. I have never worn glasses. Linz inclines his head and reaches for a candy. To my surprise, Nathaniel does as well. Do you have contacts? No, when I was small I used to borrow my father's reading glasses. Ah, to seem intellectual. I see. How cute. Albin and Eliza tied with each with 1 peanut remaining. Okay, so you can find out who wins this, judging by your question. I get it. And so it falls to you to cast a deciding vote. Perhaps, however, I have never drunk absinthe. Guilty as charged. Bradley looks confused as Linz and Albin sigh in unison and then turn on him. No one's done that. Your turn. I've never ridden a horse. Neither have I. I don't hate horses, but I've never found them as exciting as some cars. That's not the only reason why people don't ride horses. Just want to point that out. Nathaniel takes a peanut. No surprise. So does Raphael. So does Albin, losing the game. I didn't think you were the horsey type. It wasn't my idea. He stands up abruptly, kicking over an empty peanut dish. This is a stupid game anyway. Is there a forfeit for losing? Why are you getting angry? Alright, whatever. What a sore loser. He walks away and no one even comments on it. I guess he does that a lot. Huh. What a dick.